Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're diving into a story that really messes with your idea of what consciousness even is. It asks this incredible question. What if consciousness wasn't just stuck in our heads? What if it was, a physical part of the world around us? And this quote, wow, it just nails the core idea, doesn't it? The color of having thoughts. If consciousness could be made visible and then drowned. I mean, think about that. We're not starting this story with a person. We're starting with a place, an elemental force, something you could literally drown in. So, what if the ocean could think? This is the massive question at the center of everything, and it's the mystery that's waiting for our main character, a guy named Kessler. He's a communications tech, and he's just been shipped out to basically the most remote place you can imagine to solve a problem he doesn't even understand yet.
Right. Section 1. Arrival at a thinking ocean. So here we are with Kessler, stepping onto Station 9th. And let me tell you, this place is not your typical research outpost. It feels more like, like a monastery built to just sit and contemplate some kind of strange, living god.
And Kessler's job title? He's a communications technician, sent in as a replacement. Now, just think about that word for a second, replacement. It's so impersonal, right? Like he's just a cog in a machine. He's there to fill the shoes of a man named Solander. And what happened to Solander? Well, that's the first big, dark secret of this station. So what are they studying out here? It's this place, the Fennec Basin. And it's not just a weird body of water. No, it's described as cognition without origin. It's an active, thinking thing. The whole point of the station isn't to take water samples. It's to listen to what this ocean is thinking. And when Kessler asks what happened to the last guy, the station coordinator, Voss, she just lays it out, cold. He went into the basin. This is not metaphor. The basin does not return what it takes. So yeah, Solander didn't slip and fall. He made a choice. He walked into that thinking water and it just kept. Okay, next up, a signal in the noise. Kessler doesn't get a formal handover. All he gets is a stack of notes left behind by Solander. And these notes, they start out normal, but they become a record of a man's mind completely coming apart at the seams. It's a journey into, something else entirely. So at first, in month 3, Solandra's notes are what you'd expect. Super technical, professional. He's a comms tech, right? But then he starts noticing something weird. The array receives more than it should. The basin broadcasts. He's realizing the equipment is picking up something impossible, a signal from the water itself. Fast forward to month 7, and things have gotten strange. The professional tone is gone. Now it's just pure confusion. I do not remember arriving. The basin does not care about names. You see what's happening? The broadcast isn't just a sound he's hearing. It's an influence that is actively erasing who he is. And then we get to his last entry. The water is what water would be if water could think. I am going to ask, what am I? This is just wow. He's not giving up. He's not ending his life. He's going to the source to ask the biggest question there is. He's going to become the answer. So Kessler, he's following this trail of breadcrumbs left by Cylinder, and he finds the audio logs. And the sound is just bizarre. It's described as having the shape of meaning, but without any actual words, like a voice with no content, just pure meaning. And what does Kessler do? He does exactly what Cylinder did. He turns off all the filters and lets that raw, unfiltered signal just flood the system. All right, section 3, the calibration of consciousness. And this is where things really start to escalate. Because listening to that raw signal, it's not a passive act. It triggers something inside Kessler. It's the start of a transformation he can't stop. He finds out that the whole station, the whole reason it's even here, is because of this thing at its core, the calibrator. It's this ancient sphere-like artifact. And its job? It literally tunes a person's consciousness. It's like turning a radio dial in your brain until you're perfectly aligned with the basin's signal. And this calibration happens in stages. First, time gets weird. Past, present, future, they all start happening at once. Then, people stop looking like people. He starts seeing them as just patterns, unique frequencies. And finally, the idea of himself starts to dissolve. The line between Kessler and everything else just fades away. This is so important. He's not just hearing the signal anymore. It is actively rewriting the code of his reality. Moving on to our next section, integration with the phenomenon. So this whole calibration process, it's not for nothing. It's not random noise. It's pushing Kessler towards a final destination, an inevitable conclusion, the very same one that Solander reached.
And once the calibration is complete, that raw signal, that noise, it snaps into focus. It becomes one single, all-encompassing question. What is the pattern that generates patterns? What are you? What am I? This is it. This is the ultimate question that all consciousness, everywhere, is always asking. So there he is, standing at the edge of the platform, looking down into that thinking water. And he gets it. He has his answer. My answer is that I don't know. My answer is that not knowing is what I am. The question is the answer. It's not about finding a fact. His whole existence, his very nature as a questioning, uncertain being, that's the answer. And with that understanding, he just lets go and steps into the basin. Okay, part 5, a bureaucracy of dreams. So Kessler's story is done. He's integrated with the basin. But this story isn't over. It gives us a whole other narrative, kind of a parallel story, that hits on all the same themes, but from a totally different and honestly weirder angle. So the call takes many forms. We're shifting gears now, from this vast, cosmic, thinking ocean to a bureaucracy. Yep, paperwork and offices. But believe me, it's just as strange and just as focused on messing with consciousness.
So let's meet our new guy, Graz. He gets this weird job posting in the mail for a position with the Bureau of Oceanic Assessment. His job? He'd be assessing dreams for irregularities. And just like Kessler, you get the feeling he didn't just stumble upon this. He's being called, selected by some massive system he can't even begin to comprehend. And this application, it's not your typical resume and cover letter. The demands are just wild. Draw what you see when you close your eyes. List all anomalies, medical or otherwise. It even asks you to list 3 people who can prove you exist. And the best part, the mailing address is just, you know where to send it. This whole thing is a filter, right? It's designed to find people who are already tuned in to a different frequency.
So remember the basin's calibration? Well, the Bureau has its own version. They call it the procedure, and the interviewer is very clear. The procedure modifies your apparatus. It opens doors that, in some cases, should remain closed. It's a permanent change to how you perceive the world, one that lets you literally enter other people's dreams. And once you open those doors, there's no going back.
Which leaves us with this really haunting question, doesn't it? What do these systems, one made of water, the other of paper, actually want with human consciousness? You have this ancient, thinking ocean on one hand, and this bizarre, cryptic bureaucracy on the other. Both are calling out to specific people, changing their minds, and pulling them in. For what? What's the end game? The story doesn't tell us. It just leaves us to wonder.